Peace and blessings, guys. It's the Queen of Spades. So I'm coming at you today because there's always questions on the difference between banishing and binding. And I just did a video maybe a few days ago on a binding that I did. So with banishing, you're basically banishing or forcing someone from your life for whatever reason. Someone that's negative, someone you can't get along with, someone for whatever reason you just don't any longer want them a part of your life. And then there's bindings. When you bind someone, you're kind of, I kind of think of it as kind of like holding that person either in a space or with conditions on that person. So there are some situations where a person may not necessarily be good for you to have in your life, but you can't necessarily banish them because it will be kind of like a trickle effect of negative consequences for whatever reason of you banishing them from your life completely. So you can bind them with certain conditions, or you can bind negative traits or aspects of theirs and then banish those. You can bind the good qualities of theirs and hold them near, hold them in that space to keep being positive, keep being, as they are, and banish the negative aspects of them. So in my last video, what I was doing was, because there's some negativity of certain choice people, what I did with them was I bound them, but I banished their negative ways, their negative intentions, their negative thoughts. So I guess you could look at it as a two-part. It just depends on your intentions. And as long as you're clear with your intentions, then all goes well. You can use bindings for love spells, different things of that nature, money spells. You wouldn't want to banish money away from you. You wouldn't want to banish love away from you. But you can bind money to you. You can bind love to you. You can even bind a person's positive aspects to you while you banish their negative aspects. So it just depends on what your intentions are. As long as you are clear and you make it clear in your petitions what it is exactly that you're trying to do with each of your workings, then you're good to go. So I felt like I needed to explain that because there is a difference between binding and banishing, and there is a difference in different kinds of banishings as well as different kinds of bindings. There's levels to it. So it just depends. It depends on you and what your intentions exactly are. So in that case, with my last video, I was actually allowing those particular persons to be active in my life, only because banishing them would affect others outside of myself negatively. So the easiest thing in that type of situation, if you cannot banish a person completely from your life under whatever circumstances, then it's good to bind them in their positivity to you, but banish their negative traits and intentions. So someone asked me to clarify that, and then when I looked back at my last video, I saw how it could be a bit confusing. So here's me, doing damage control to explain exactly what I was meaning in binding, slash banishing. Yes, when you are binding someone or you're binding a particular aspect or energetic connection between the two of you, then in that case, you want to fold the petition towards yourself because you're binding someone to you, or whatever aspects on whatever level you're binding them to you. If you are binding certain aspects of that person to you, but you are doing away with certain negative aspects of them, or banishing certain negative aspects of them or certain negative intentions, then you want to fold the petition away from you, because you don't want that to stay in your life. You don't want that to come towards you. You want it to leave out of your life for good. So in that case, that's where, like if you're banishing someone or if you're pushing a certain aspect or a certain, of a certain level away from you, then that's when you want to, in some aspects, it calls for, if you're banishing, for those remains of the petition to go into running water. And for me, I will just flush them down the toilet. I will flush the negativity away from me. If you are binding someone for love, or you're binding money to you, or you're just binding the aspect of love to you, or you're binding positivity to you in your life, then you don't want to flush that away. You want to bind it and either put it in the freezer, or you want to bind it and put it into a sweetening jar for a sweetening spell, to keep those positive aspects sweetened and, basically to your liking, to bring whatever positive outcome, you want from that particular binding into your life, and for it to stay put. So, yes, so I felt like I needed to clarify that, because when I was, someone actually asked me a question, and then when I actually looked at my last video, I could see how there could be a discrepancy or unclearness in, which way to go about things. What you saw was me doing a binding slash banishing. And there's many different ways to skin a cat. So it just depends on what you're trying to do personally. And I actually do energy work, spell work for clients. And there has not been a time just yet where I have not succeeded in helping someone to succeed in whatever their wishes were in their, in their life, whatever they wanted to bring to them or push away from them. There hasn't been a time where I haven't succeeded just yet, unless it was something on the client's end where, there was, certain things that weren't followed through completely on the client's end. And I've only had one time where that happened. See, with energy work, spell work, you have to understand that it's all about your intentions. So if you hire me to do energy work or spell work for you, but you are doubtful of the work that I can do, or there are instructions for you to do on your end and you don't complete them when you're supposed to, or just simply, follow the instructions, or get clarity on exactly what to do, and for whatever reason you don't fall through on your end, then it can cause a problem with the energy work that I do on my end, depending on what type of energy work it is. So in certain aspects of spell work / energy work, I will ask clients to do certain things like take spiritual baths, wear certain crystals on them while I am doing energy work for them. I may ask them to get me certain things DNA wise, so that I could do a spell or energy work for them. It just depends on the type of energy work or spell work. And I need for that client to fall totally through in order to get the best results. So I'll say the one time that it didn't go through, me and the client know exactly why that didn't go through, and that was on their end. However, the other 99% of the time when I did spell work for other clients, it actually did fall through. And I actually have a page on Facebook and on Instagram, Johari's Lair of Spaded Ace. And I do different workings and post also the results of my workings. And I always have happy clients. I always have satisfied clients. The client that didn't fall through, she understood that if you doubt or if you don't follow directions to the extent in which I have you to do certain things or fulfill certain things on your end so that you can also be pushing the energy out on your end. She understands that it could have gone possibly differently if she would have followed through on her end, and has even said that in the future she will hire me again for other workings because she knows that I was successful thus far with helping her and aiding her in having success in, whatever it was that she desired. So I think that I explained that as best as possible. But if by chance there's still more questions, please comment down below, ask me those questions. Or if you're interested in workings yourself or interested in knowing how to do a working for yourself, or possibly, learn how to get onto the path of doing little things here and there yourself to secure success for you, bring money to you, bring love to you. You can also message me and I will be able to get back with you on your individual questions if they're about personal situations. You can always message me for personal consultations, and I will be more than happy to help you and assist you with that. So I'm going to go now. If you have any questions, like I said, please comment down below or message me, and I will be sure to get with you as soon as possible. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I'm going to retire for the evening, and peace and blessings.